Hey, it's Sandy Freshy. I'm back with another video in our series about stress and the undefined centers in the human design chart. I'm actually out here in my front yard under this beautiful tree because it's such a great day that I don't want to go inside. And I thought, what a perfect setting and a perfect environment for our next energy center. We're going to talk about the spleen center today. And the spleen center is the center for vitality, well-being, survival, instinct, timing, and fear. Those are all of the things that synchronize us with the natural world. So here I am under this tree, and I hope that you can soak some of this in for yourself if you're not able to get out into the natural world as you watch this. So I'm not going to belabor this because I have a whole playlist about the spleen center on YouTube, and I did a very in-depth course about it. So if you want more information, there is more information. But as we go through all of the undefined centers, I just want to use this as a touch point for those of you who have an undefined spleen to kind of hone in on how you may be affected by stress through your undefined spleen center. So let's start with the basics. On your human design chart, you know that you have an undefined spleen center. If this center, as you're looking at your chart on the left-hand side, to the left of the sacral center, is white or not colored in. So if it's open or undefined, it means that you're taking in energy, you're feeling it in an amplified way, you're taking in that vitality, well-being, survival, instinct, timing energy, and possibly even fear energy from others and your environment, and you're feeling it in an amplified way. And if you're not aware that it's not your energy, you can hold on to it and it will cause you stress. So the stress that you can possibly feel when you have an undefined spleen center is the stress of insecurity about your own survival. And that seems kind of extreme, but if you really tune into it, you'll recognize the subtleties and the nuances of how that shows up in your life. So in the case of vitality, in the case of taking in other people's sense of well-being, you can take it in. It may feel very good to you if that person is healthy and feels very well. And when they go, you're looking around or you're feeling like, where did that sense of feel good go, right? Or if they're not feeling good, if you're around people who aren't feeling well, let's say you're a healthcare provider in a hospital and you're working around sick people all the time, you may begin to feel like you're sick or like you're not feeling well. And odds are you've actually taken in all of this low vitality energy around you. And if you're not aware that it's not yours, you don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to treat an illness that's not there in your body. You may develop a lot of stress and a lot of obsession around how do I get rid of this? How do I feel better? What health regimen do I need to do because I just don't feel good? When actually, if you look around, you just need to kind of take a break from the people you're around or from the environment that you're in that's bringing that energy to you. Same thing goes for fear. If you're around people who are fear-driven, if you're around people who are filtering fear in a way that is dysfunctional, you're going to feel that fear energy very strongly within yourself. And then there's that insecurity about, how am I going to survive? What's going to happen to me? Whatever that fear, that fear shows up for you to process. And that's where that stress comes in, when actually it's not yours to deal with. It's not yours to work with. It's just information about where other people are with their process of fear or their health and well-being process. So let me make sure I get everything in here that I really want you to know. I have a few notes here. So to alleviate the stress or the conditioning, you know, when we're talking about stress, we're talking about becoming aware of how you've been conditioned by taking this energy in, and perhaps not being aware that there's nothing that you need to do about it. The first thing you need to do to kind of alleviate that stress is to become conscious of the fact that it's probably not yours. And the quickest way to do that is to ask yourself, is this my energy? Especially if something, a fear crops up or that insecurity crops up very suddenly, you can ask yourself, go inside and ask yourself, is this mine or is it someone else's? Synchronizing yourself with the rhythms of nature can be very good for this because it will keep you grounded. And of course, and this is true whether you have a defined spleen or an undefined spleen, it's true across the board. When you synchronize with the rhythms of the earth, when you synchronize with the vibrations of nature, you're synchronizing with the essence of vitality. And when you're synchronized and when you're entrained to the essence of vitality, you have your own touch point. You're holding a frequency within you that makes it a little bit more apparent when you've bumped up against someone else's lack of vitality. And the same thing goes with timing. When you synchronize with nature's timing, it's essentially the core of your natural timing. So there's no need to be insecure or to feel insecure about whether or not you're acting in the right timing. And that's something else that we could talk about at a later point. But, you know, the earth has its own rhythm, and we're part of that rhythm. And one of the ways to really get attuned to whether or not what you're feeling is yours or not, whether it's through your undefined spleen center or through another center, is to attune to these natural rhythms that the earth brings you. So I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you with becoming aware of the stress that you may be holding in your body through your undefined spleen, and gives you some ideas about how you can begin to relieve and alleviate that stress. So until the next time, be well, and we will talk about another center in perhaps another week.